Good morning. I just feel in my heart that somebody needs encouraged. That the Lord is going to take care of them financially. And I specifically have it on my heart to remind you about the tithe. And I think there might be somebody who's been struggling a little bit. Keeps coming back up in front of you, the tithe. And you're like, God, that's great. I don't have enough to tithe. I know. He knows. And you need to be encouraged that most people, many people, don't have enough to tithe. But when we give our first 10% to the Lord, He rebukes the devourer for our sake. I've been there. I've been in a place where I don't have enough to tithe. But when I put Him first in my finances, before I pay any bills, before I make any commitment to anyone else, when I give Him my first, He is so faithful. Never one time has He been unfaithful. And as a matter of fact, most of the time I have been blown away at His goodness and supernatural provision like manna from heaven. And I'm not here to argue with you about the tithe. This isn't about theology. This is about your heart. This is about trusting Him. I want to show you something in the New Testament. It's in Mark chapter 12, starts at verse 41. It says, "Now Jesus sat opposite the treasury, saw how the people put money into the treasury, and many who were rich put in much. Then one poor widow came and threw in 2 mites, which make a quadrans. So He called His disciples to Himself." This was so important that He called all of His disciples. "You guys, come here. We need to talk about this." He said, "Assuredly I say to you that this poor widow has put in more than all those who have given to the treasury. For they all put in out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty put in all that she had, her whole livelihood." And I believe that there's somebody out there that it's all you have left. And it moved His heart. If it moved His heart so much that we still read about it today, for it was an example for all of humanity, don't you think she was taken care of financially? Don't you think her miracle came? I understand what it feels like to give with a trembling hand. I understand. I promise, I'm not lying to you. I understand what it feels like to give with a trembling hand. But I also understand what it feels like to tremble with complete joy and awe and wonder of God making a way where there was no way. So this is just for someone out there who you've been struggling, you're struggling, and you keep hearing this over and over. It keeps coming up in front of you. Do it. If you've been asking for a sign, this is your sign. Do it. Your next paycheck, you give Him the first 10%. If you've already got your paycheck, give Him the rest. Put in your 2 mites and see that He won't. It's the only place He says, "Test me in this," that I won't throw open the windows of heaven and provide such a blessing that you can't even contain it. and he will rebuke the devourer on your behalf. I promise you, friend, I promise you, he will take care of you. So be encouraged. And I can't wait to hear your testimony because you're going to do it. Love you.